to this happy place, welcome.
Hey guys, it's Tim. You're listening to the Dreaming of Disney podcast. I'm with my beautiful wife, Adrienne.
Take three.
Oh man, I'm so tired.
Okay, I was going to tell you before we started.
Not to say
how
tired
yeah.
or how busy it's been, but
yeah.
we have good reason.
Yeah.
We just got back yesterday.
Last night, yeah.
Last night.
Yeah, you're right. Yesterday.
I guess if you're listening to this, it's actually a week later.
Sure.
But,
yeah, we're recording this earlier than we typically do.
Yeah. So we're recording this on a Wednesday. We just got back Tuesday night from Disneyland.
Yep.
It was a surprise to everyone, including us.
We don't even know how we got there.
We've been planning this for a while.
Well, I want to
Maybe
say
not
a
for
while. We were
but at
going
least
back and
for a
forth.
month. Well, yeah.
A month isn't really a while. People plan Disney trips for months.
I guess that's true.
We just decided, it actually, last year we wanted to do it. So the whole reasoning behind it was our boys, who are huge Star Wars fans, and two of them at the time before our trip were big Space Mountain fans. The other one was not. But during the month of May, they have Hyperspace Mountain. We've talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
Tim loves it, blah, blah, blah. But they only have it for the month of May. They really wanted to go on it. Jack had been on it when he was 7, but that was a long time ago. Didn't really remember it. Boston had never been on it. So we usually do like a quick trip in the summer. And so we just decided, we just really wanted to take them so they could ride Hyperspace Mountain. So we decided to move up our trip a couple of months and make it even shorter than it usually is.
Yeah.
And surprise them.
Yeah. So we woke them up at 5:30 in the morning and said, "Hey, you guys want to go to Disneyland?" And they're like sleepy eyes. They're like, "Yeah."
Well, Jack was like, "Yeah." I think Noah said, "Just for one day." Like little entitled.
They weren't like jumping up and down. Like,
No,
yeah,
they go way too much. We need to give them a good long break.
Yeah.
You and I don't need, we can keep going, but we need to give them a good long break until they appreciate it as much as we do.
Yeah. They're like yawning. You're like, sure.
Yeah. They're like, sure.
So.
But then they were excited once they woke up and like started talking about it, then they were excited. So it was just going to be, one night, go quick. Main reason was just so they could experience Hyperspace Mountain. Yeah. So
yeah, we left home at a little after 6 in the
6:30,
morning.
yeah.
6:30. We got there inside of California Adventure, which was our first reservation, and it was like 11:40,
something like that.
11:40 something.
We stayed at a good neighbor. So we've talked about Portofino. We've stayed there multiple times. We haven't stayed there in like 4 years, almost 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
4 years. But it was just one night, and they typically have pretty good rates. That one and Anaheim Hotel, have usually pretty good rates. So it was like a 15-minute walk.
Yeah.
That one block feels so long.
Yeah, after the cast member shuttle entrance.
It's like that first block from Disneyland to like that little cast member entrance.
Yeah.
Like a normal size block. But then the next is only one more block to the hotel.
From the hotel to the cast member.
No. If you're walking back to the hotel.
Oh, you're talking
backwards.
Away from Disneyland.
Yeah, it's like that, but then that last block back to the hotel, it just feels so long.
Really long.
But it took us about 15 minutes.
It's like the same distance walking from Disneyland Hotel through downtown Disney.
I think it's a little longer because it doesn't take us 15 minutes to go from the Disneyland Hotel to the
I
gate.
guess that's true.
But also Boston isn't in a stroller anymore, and he has short leg. He's a slow walker.
Yeah.
So we don't walk super fast. But it's, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like
okay.
some hotels I've stayed in post pandemic that I've stayed at before, I've just like gone down a little.
There's definitely been a
bit,
quality hit after the
which
pandemic.
we've seen that not just in Disneyland, like other places.
Yeah.
Like we've been like, this is kind of like there were like what 3, so a total of 6, I guess, like outlets that didn't work.
Yeah.
There was a couple the customer service just wasn't too great this time. Like there were times where there was no one at the front desk and just, not huge deals, but just like, but it's
Some
still, I mean, it was clean. It was like,
it was so clean.
it was clean. The rooms were fine. Bed was fine.
Yeah.
It's not a bad walk. It was just a few things I noticed that were
we've been consistently staying at a Disney hotel the last few years.
Yeah.
And this, we're going peak spring, summertime, and obviously prices of Disney hotels are a lot
outrageous.
more expensive right now. And so in the sense it's just a quick, short trip, you just wanted to save some money. And so we've been spoiled.
So spoiled.
And being inside a Disney bubble and, going, through the downtown Disney security line entrance, now going through the shuttle and the Good Neighbor Hotel entrance. It's just a lot more people. Yeah. A lot more, of a walk and all that.
So we didn't notice that as bad on the day we got there because we got there like, 11, around 11. Yeah. But then the next morning we rope dropped and I just forgot how many more people are on that side because there's so many more hotels. Yeah. Majority of people are not staying in a Disneyland resort. So most of them are coming in from the Harbor Boulevard entrance. And so it's just a lot more people, but they also have way more security lines. Yeah. Which actually, I take that back. I just thought of something. The parking garages are on the other side. So there's still a lot of people coming in from the downtown Disney entrance because anyone who parks in the parking garage and takes the shuttle is getting dropped off at downtown Disney.
But there's a separate shuttle. So they're not coming in the same area as like the Disneyland Hotel or Grand California.
So it's quieter down at the beginning of downtown Disney. But like we rope dropped the second morning and at first, when we're walking in with all of these people, I'm like, oh my gosh, security is going to be a nightmare. But they have so many.
It didn't used to be like that.
No, they didn't used to have as many. They have tons. Yeah. So we got through pretty quick, really quick.
Like I remember like the line for security would be like all the way down the shuttle entrance down to almost to Harbor Boulevard.
Oh, that one time. That one summer.
Yeah.
It was super hot.
It was super hot. It was super packed. I mean, this was before the pandemic. And the security line was all the way down to Harbor.
But something happened. They opened up new ones, remember? Because we were way back there, but then all of a sudden we started moving faster. Yeah. We didn't wait for hours.
No.
But I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways.
And also missing the early entry. That was hard to see people go early entry.
Okay, well, that was the second day. We'll get there. We'll get there. But it felt a little weird. Like you said, we started in California, but we were only there for like an hour?
Like we rode, we went, we had lunch. We packed lunches this time. Yeah. And we ate lunch. And then we got a Genie Plus for Soren.
I took Georgia on Ariel.
Yeah, we were expecting to do more because we figured Boston would want to do Guardians. And for some reason, he did not want to do Guardians this trip.
It was really weird. It's his favorite ride. Yeah. I don't know what was going on with him, but he really didn't want to. And then we noticed right away, it must be getting busy because every Genie Plus selection was far out.
Yeah.
The time selection.
At least 2
So
hours
we were like,
out.
okay, we didn't want to spend too much time there because the whole purpose was Hyperspace Mountain. Not the whole purpose, but like the main, we were going to get that done.
Yeah.
And so we were going to head over to Disneyland, and we were like, oh, well, let's do like Toy Story Mania. It was like 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do, there's another one we were thinking about doing. I can't remember, but it was like 2 hours. And we were like,
Yeah.
okay, well, should we just head over to Disneyland? And the boys were like, yeah. And we're like, okay. So yeah, you guys did a ride, and then Georgia and I did a ride, and then we went over to Disneyland. So we didn't spend like any time in California Adventure.
And I got a fast pass for Hyperspace Mountain. So this was
was at like 1
o'clock, and the earliest was 5:25 p.m. for that. So you're 4 hours away.
Yeah. So one thing we've noticed too with Genie Plus is if you don't get there in the morning and are able to start churning them right away, which churning is when you are picking for whatever ride, you pick a ride that the time is like right then or in the next like
nearest,
20 minutes
nearest,
nearest time. Because as soon as you check into that ride, as soon as you scan your phone, you can then select another one. So then if you do
2 hours.
So then if you do that again, you're immediately going to go ride that other ride. Then once you check into that ride, you can pick another one, and you can just keep churning them. Where if you pick one and it's, like we had Hyperspace Mountain at 1 o'clock, we got it because we wanted to make sure to get it. It wasn't until 5:25. We could not pick another Genie Plus selection for 2 hours. So it's whichever comes first. You either scan into the ride you're riding or you have to wait 2 hours.
Yeah.
So there was 2 hours where we couldn't do any Genie Plus selections, and it was busy.
It was super busy.
It was way busier than when we were there in February, which is typically the case. If you're going spring, summer, it's going to be busier
it was
than
the
February.
Monday after Mother's Day, so there's probably people there. Just I thought maybe people would go that weekend and then they would leave Sunday evening, Monday, but they seemed to be sticking around.
Yeah. So, which I had seen a few weeks ago, someone said like this week it was supposed to be high, crowds, but. So there was really nothing to do. Like we got into Disneyland and we couldn't get any Genie Plus, and wait times were, longer. So I think you guys did the rockets, and
we did Astro Orbiters, and that was like a 30-minute wait, which isn't too bad.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and then I think we did Star Tours after that.
No, I think that was later.
Is that later?
Because Georgia was asleep, and then there was a long period of time because you said you're like, I think the boys are getting bored because we hadn't been on any rides.
Yeah.
So you guys did that, and then we decided to go get a snack because it had been like 2 hours since lunch. So we wanted the cold brew from Galaxy's Edge.
That's right.
And the boys wanted a Mickey pretzel, and the Mickey pretzels, at least, I don't know if there's another stand. The one that I know of is over in Frontierland, like across from Big Thunder Mountain. If there is another one, let us know, because that's the one I know. So I'm like, all right, well, let's walk that way. So we walked that way, got pretzels. You went in to get us cold brew. And then we walked into Fantasyland to get Noah a churro. And
that was another thing.
Then
go ahead.
While you were walking to go into Galaxy's Edge and get us cold brew, you had been looking and there was just nothing coming up. I was like, what about Roger Rabbit? The boys have never been on that, and it's reopened, and it just kept getting farther and farther out. Finally, you got one for Small World.
That's right.
That was coming up, and I was like, yeah, sure, get that. And so the boys and I, or the kids and I should say, just headed over there. And then Georgia ended up waking up, and then you got there. We had our coffee and we got in line for Small World. Like by this point, that it had been.
So it was 3 o'clock.
Yeah. So it had been probably. Hang on, I'm looking for something. Looking for a timestamp. Oh, it won't be on mine because I sent myself this picture that you took. Oh, maybe. Yeah. So we got on Small World a little before 3.
Yeah, 2:56.
And then, so that was like a good 2 hours, 2.5 hours that.
Well, before you go, I was going to mention something else too about just how busy it was. The mobile orders.
Yes.
Everything was farther out too because people were mobile ordering. So there was nothing available. Like for the Docking Bay 7, to get the cold brew, I had to wait 30 minutes to get it. So
and
I ordered it while I was on my way walking over there. And by the time I got there, I still had 15 more minutes until I could say I'm here.
Yeah.
And so I went in some of the shops and just kind of hung around waiting. Yeah. And it was just, there was a line out the door for the people who were just ordering. Mm-hmm. And then there was just so many people.
Yeah. It was, when you guys were on the Rockets and I was going to get something before we got the cold brew, I was like, okay, I want something. I tried for Jolly Holiday, which I should know better, because if it's busy, you need to put your mobile order for a treat at Jolly Holiday like in the morning.
In the morning, yeah.
There was nothing for hours. It was like it was like 4:00 or something like that, and it was 1, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna wait that long. But anyway, so we did Small World, and then we wanted to go into Toontown since it last time we were there, just Mickey and Minnie's was open, not the whole land. Mm-hmm. So we headed over there. We wanted to see Tales of the Lion King.
Yeah.
Because last time we were there, I had told Noah about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I want to, see it. Lion King's his favorite." And we were going to do it one day, but then we didn't get to. And I was like, "Oh, we'll do it," because we were going to be back in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any showings that day, so we didn't get to do it. And so there were tons of showings, and so we really wanted to get that done. And you were kind of at this point stressing that there's like nothing, there's no rides, and I was like, "Well, we never do shows. Mm-hmm. Like shows seem to be a lot bigger in Disney World.
Yeah.
At least it's never been like a huge deal to us. Like we like Mickey's PhilharMagic in California, but like we never really watch shows. So I was like, this will be something different. Like this isn't like a typical trip. It was going to be short and let's just like, try to do something different. So anyway, so Toontown, I think it's great.
Well, yeah, it's cool.
No, I know you.
It stresses me out.
It's like always very busy. Even before they redid it, it was very busy then, and it's very busy now. Didn't seem as hot. I feel like the fake grass patches help, and there's more trees.
The green space helps absorb a lot of the heat. Because
before
concrete.
It would just be like miserable.
Yeah.
But they have this whole. It's like Donald's. It's
Goofy. Goofy's yard.
I think it's both.
Well, yeah. Donald's has like a little, like a splash pad area.
Oh, okay.
But
we didn't go there.
That wasn't opened yet.
Oh, okay.
So it was just Goofy's house.
But it would be much more enjoyable when we go when it's not as busy.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was so many kids. They have like these 3 slides and these interactive, like you can go inside the house and it's interactive, things to push and things happen and all this stuff, but
just germs everywhere. This is all I saw was just germs, and it's like we're getting sick when we come home.
Yeah, probably.
We haven't gotten sick yet.
Well, it's only been a day. But these slides, so like kids are just aggressive, right? Except for our kids. Our kids are not. We'll see how Georgia is when she gets older, but our 3 boys are not. Mm-mm. They do not assert themselves in groups. Like they will get forgotten about because they just stand back and don't like speak up. And I'm always like, hey, you speak up. You don't have to be rude, but like speak up. So was it Noah? Noah's standing there and I'm helping Boston getting him down one of the slides. And then I'm looking around doing other stuff. And then I realized, wait, Noah's still standing there. I don't think he's gone down and come back up. Maybe he did. So I'm like, hey, buddy, did you go down and come back up? He's like, no. He's standing there while all these 2 and 3, 4-year-olds are just pushing in front of him.
They're like
going down the slide.
They're coming up the slide and it's just like pushing their way in front of the other kids.
And he's just standing there because he's not going to push a 3-year-old.
No.
So I go over and this other mom is like kind of letting her kids go in front. And I was like, buddy, you got to push your way in front. I was like, don't let them go in front of you. And she was like, And then she was like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, sorry. I was like, he's been standing here for like 10 minutes. I was like, he won't like assert himself. I was like, go ahead. I was like, don't be mean, but go. Like, cause he would just stand there. I'm like, you have to sit. You have to like kind of push your weight, cause they're not going to stop. But our two oldest boys were like a little old for the slides, but they wanted to try them once. I was like, whatever. It says his age is 2 to 12. Yeah. And our oldest is 12 and our youngest is 2. So I was like, hey, there we go. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect range. But yeah, they're just standing there letting all these little kids push them out of the way. And I'm like, hey, push that 3-year-old back. No, I didn't say that. But it was like, it would be super fun if we could cut those kids and like, I only have like a third of what was there.
Yeah, it was so many. I was like getting stressed out. It's like, okay, we saw it, we did it, let's move on.
But it is a good place to let them get out some energy. Sure. But you'll probably have a hard time getting them to leave.
Yeah.
But then I've been really wanting to try like everything at Daisy's Cafe.
Yeah.
And the picnic time watermelon lemonade, if you like watermelon, is very good. Mm-hmm. It's like, it tastes like watermelon. Like it tastes kind of like a sour patch. It's not sour though. I mean, it's lemonade, but it's good. It has like the watermelon gummy candies in it. I didn't eat those at the end. I just let those go, but it was good. It was refreshing. So I recommend it. So then we did Tale of the Lion King. Mm-hmm. We had never done this before, and I can't recommend it enough.
It was amazing.
I loved it. And the boys did too. I mean, during their faces were just kind of like blank, but afterwards they were like, yeah, Boston really liked it. And I seriously had the biggest smile on my face. And I knew, I was like, I look like an idiot right now because I seriously have like a huge grin on my face, but I just couldn't help it. Yeah. I've never seen the Broadway show. I've always wanted to. It came to where we live a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. I think I was pregnant or had a newborn. I think Georgia was maybe an infant, and it was like, yeah, no, I can't. Like,
no, it was before Georgia was born. It's before you were pregnant with her. I remember we were going somewhere because it was like a work event. Remember we had a preview, like a preview event.
Oh, I'm thinking of Hamilton.
You're thinking of Hamilton.
Hamilton came when she was an infant.
Yeah, this was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm thinking of Hamilton. But anyways, we didn't go. I never saw it when I lived in New York. I always wanted to, but it's so hard. It was like hard to get in. Mm-hmm. Never wanted or had the money to pay. Like, I've never seen it. So, I mean, this probably doesn't compare at all, but gave us maybe like a glimpse of what it's kind of like. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so I know for sure I will cry because I was tearing up. I teared up several times just from the music and their voices, and then like the dancing. I just had a huge smile on my face. Like so cool.
Choreography was really cool.
So cool. Like there's lots of different show times, the days they have show times. So like check it out.
Yeah. It's at the Fantasy Theater. Royal Theater. It's we don't know. Right across from Small World, where they used to have the Mickey's Magical Map show.
I'm looking at what it's called. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, it's the big theater across from Small World. And yeah, it was just fantastic. I loved it. I just wanted to sit and watch it again. So yeah, there you go. There's that. So then it was time for it was close to time for our lightning lane for Space Mountain. Mm-hmm. So the boys get all excited. We get over there. I'm still working on Noah, trying to convince him. I'm telling him, I'm like, but I let you watch a ride through because I normally don't do that. But I was like, he didn't like Space Mountain, but I'm like, you will like this one. Like, please trust me. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, you don't like it. Like, a couple of weeks ago, I showed him a ride through on YouTube because he likes to know what's coming. And I was like, here's the thing. We like never do a family trip in May. I was like, so it's going to be years and probably years before you get this chance again, because they only do it in May.
Yeah.
And that I think is what got him the most.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he was thinking about it. We get over there. Did we get in line?
No, it broke down.
We went to we were using the bathrooms first. So we were at the exit.
Yes.
And we heard a cast member say it broke down. And I got a notification on the phone on my phone that said like your reservation has
Genie Plus
has been changed. I was like, what? Why did they change it? Did they push it? And then I heard a cast member telling people it was down. I was like, oh no. So then there was meltdown and my meltdown. No,
that's when we did Star Tours.
That's when you guys did Star Tours.
Yeah.
And I just walked around and did some shopping. I didn't buy anything. I just was looking. I really
window
wanted.
Shopping.
I was window shopping. I wanted to buy so many things, but I didn't. And then we ate at Pizza Planet. So we were eating outside at Pizza Planet, and
it's the seating next to the entrance to Space Mountain.
Yeah.
So it's like you go into Pizza Planet, and then they have the sliding doors off to the side where it overlooks the area where Space Mountain is, and then the theater where they used to have Captain Neo and all that.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff.
So you can, see people walking into Space Mountain. So it was still closed. We're out there eating. But when I was walking into Pizza Planet, I saw there was a huge line. There was like 2 cast members standing at the end of that, like right by Pizza Planet, stopping people, and just a huge line of people waiting for it to open. So while we were eating dinner, we realized it opened because you could hear like this
mob,
this like rumble coming, and you see 2 cast members that had at one point both had their arms like out a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're trying to keep the crowd back so they didn't just like stampede and run. And I took a video of it, and it's like a minute long of people.
Oh yeah.
Coming in.
Yeah.
And so then we were able to do that once we were done eating. And I convinced Noah I got him. So Jack, Noah, and I went first, and he loved it.
He loved it. Yeah.
He went from the last 2 trips we have done our best to convince him to go on Space Mountain. And he's just like, no. He would not do it. And, but we got him and he loved it. It was his favorite. I think it's his new favorite ride.
Yep.
We'll see when it's not hyperspace. I still think he'll like it, but I'm sure hyperspace will be his favorite version. But yeah, so I did spill water on myself. Like, why is it wet?
And then after that, we did Astro Blasters.
That's right. You were able, because then we checked in, because we got a Genie Plus. After we checked into Small World, we could have gotten another one, but there wasn't anything.
Yeah, everything it was.
Because you were looking and you were like, there's nothing out. And I was like, well, we had like 30 minutes before Space Mountain. So I was like, let's just go. But then it was down. So we just decided to eat dinner, but there was still nothing. There was nothing.
Yeah.
But then you got Astro Orbiters. So we did that.
Astro Blasters.
Yes, sorry. Astro Blasters. Buzz.
I just have to say, I got all-time high score for myself.
Was that your all-time high score?
Pretty sure.
What was it?
411,700.
Oh.
So
what level was that?
It's level 5. So
Nice.
I was pretty proud about that. It also helped that the ride stopped.
Yeah, you got a good spot.
Right on a triangle, triangle is the highest score.
And it was like the one on
points.
Zurg, like under his arm, wasn't it? So like I just kept going.
So I looked up, I think it was, this article was like served to me on Facebook or Instagram somewhere, just about how to get the best score.
Yeah.
Because you can max out at 999,000.
Oh my gosh.
And people do it.
That's insane.
And it's you only shoot the diamonds and the triangles. That's all you aim for, because those are the highest scored ones. And obviously if one is lit up,
right,
has the light up, then it's like think it's like a 10 times multiplier or something like that. But then there's a corridor that you go through where some of them are hidden. You only see them.
Yes, it's dark and you can.
Yeah, they're on the ceiling.
Lights are kind of going through and you'll see it every once in a
Those
while.
are 50,000 points each.
Oh, I saw you aiming up.
Yeah. So, and also if you just keep pulling the trigger, no matter what, even if you're not hitting anything, because after five misfires, you get like 500 points. They just
they do that for kids.
They just give it to you.
So they give kids
so
some points.
Don't stop pulling the trigger. So, but yeah, so
good
it was
tips.
because for that I got the score,
Wow.
which is still, people get a higher score than that all the time, but
hey,
it was good for me.
good job. Yeah. So then we went we just did some Fantasyland. We hadn't been into Fantasyland. We just did like the Riverboat Canal,
Storybook Land.
Storybook Canal, Riverboat, Storybook Canals. Kids hadn't been on that. And so we did that. Georgia liked that one. She was pointing at things and it's cute.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, let's do one more. Cause at this point it was like 8:00 and we weren't planning on staying real late because we had woken up really early, done a long drive, and like everything was so busy. We're like, okay, we could stay
so busy.
and just kind of wander and be like, if it was you and I and it was that busy, absolutely we would have stayed and just like wandered and found things to do. But
or even wait in line in something.
yeah, but with 6 people and then it being like her bedtime, we know like, okay, we're going to push her and it's not going to be good. So we're like, all right, we'll do one more ride, get a treat, and then we'll go. So the boys picked Mr. Toad's Wild Ride because last time Boston and Jack and I went on Matterhorn and you took Noah and Georgia on it. And Noah has been talking the last several months about how weird it is. So then Jack was like, I want to see what it was so weird. I want to go on it. And it was like that or the carousel and like Snow White or something. They were all about 15 minutes, 20. No, it was like 20 minutes. And we're like, okay, if that's what you want to do. So weird.
Yes.
I hadn't been on that in years and it is just
Apparently
weird and disturbing. I've never seen the cartoon.
Well, it's an original ride.
Yeah.
From when it first opened.
I'm
it's
kind of surprised that it's
still what it is.
That people don't get offended or like.
Because like the whole thing is, the story is Mr. Toad wants to drive a motor car. And that's like the story of like the movie, the animated movie. And he finally does. And he gets in an accident and dies.
Well, no, but then he goes to like, there's a court.
Oh yeah, he goes to court. He gets hit by a train
and dies, and then you go places.
Yeah,
I can't say it on the podcast.
It's such a weird.
It's really weird, and I'm just so surprised that people haven't been like outraged and like, you're showing this to kids, and we need to change it. Like, I'm just surprised. Yeah. So we did that, and then everyone was like, that was so weird.
Yeah, like, okay. And, ending on a high note.
Yeah. And then we got treats. They didn't have fireworks that night, which stunk because we still haven't seen those fireworks. But yeah, you got churro. I got the lavender pretzel again and shared it with the kids. It's so good. And then we walked back to the hotel.
Yeah.
So it was pretty early, but we were all tired. The boys didn't. Like, they were fine with it. they were
we
tired.
left around 9.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So the next morning.
So we were planning on rope dropping. I'm such an idiot. Like, I don't know what, because the boys wanted to do Indiana Jones because they fixed things on it. And so when we took them last summer, like, I was disappointed because like the boulder didn't roll towards you and just things were broken down.
Yeah, a lot of effects weren't working.
Yeah. So it was closed for a few months. So they fixed all those things. So, and Noah wanted to go on it, which I was surprised because he closed his eyes the entire time and like said he didn't like it and like looked terrified. And so he wanted to go on it. So I was surprised. So I wasn't even thinking, because we got Genie Plus the first day, but we were like, we're not going to get it the second day. It's just a half day before we drive home. Like, we're not getting it. But when we were talking about what we're going to do the next day, I was like, we should rope drop Space Mountain, because it takes it a while to get a high wait time. Like it takes it a while before the wait time is high on that one, because people are typically going to Rise or like Mickey and Minnie's right now. So I was like, we should definitely rope drop it. And then I just said to you without thinking, oh, and then like our first selection, we can do Indiana Jones, because if we get it first, it probably won't be, too far out.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah. So we get into the park and I see you on your phone and you're doing stuff. And I'm kind of like, what's taking him so long to put like tickets in the phone? And then a little while later, you said something about a selection and I was like, darn it. We weren't going to get Genie Plus today, because you were like, I thought you said. I was like, no, I did, but I didn't think it through. Like, I did say that about Indiana Jones, but I wasn't thinking it through. And so we got it, and I'm still kicking myself for that, because
we did a lot.
We did use it several times, even in just the half day, because again, it was busy. So here's another tip. We've talked about this before, but we experienced it on a busy day. Yeah. So when we were there, I don't even feel like it was that busy when we were there last August. Maybe it was, but it just felt very busy. And it definitely wasn't this busy in February. But if you rope drop in the morning, there's like, people tend to rope drop and go straight to Rise, Mickey and Minnie's, and then like I'd say Space Mountain and Indiana Jones. Yeah. Too. But there's a few hours there. I'd say like definitely the first 2 hours, even maybe 3, where there's other parts of the park that are just dead. Yeah. Like, so we rope dropped. You guys headed to Space Mountain. And I was like, oh, I don't need to ride it. We're going again in a couple weeks for Splash Mountain. So I don't need to ride it again. And so I took Georgia to Fantasyland, and we, in 20 minutes, maybe even less, we did 2 rides. Yeah. We did Alice in Wonderland, and then she kept pointing at the teacups. I haven't done that in years, because last time I did it, it made me feel horrible. But she kept pointing at it, and I was like, okay. And Small World wasn't open yet. She wanted to do Small World. She says like, what did she say? Wawa?
Something like that. Yeah.
She points at, I have a little like pop socket that's Small World on my phone, and she'll point to it. Like she wants to do it. I'm like, you want to do Small World? She's like, yeah. She gets all excited, but it wasn't open yet. So I took her on the teacups, but I just didn't spin it. And it wasn't too bad. It was bad if I just like had to like find things to focus my eyes on. But she liked it. It was cute. But then we could have gone. Dumbo was 5 minutes. Carousel was like a walk on. Peter Pan said only 20, but then by the time I walked by, it was 30. Yeah. And then soon after that, it was like 45. But Pinocchio, Snow White, they were like 10 minutes. Like we ended up meeting you guys after and getting coffee, but like we could have done all the Fantasyland rides within the first hour.
Oh, for sure.
If we waited for Peter Pan, if you do that, I'd recommend go Peter Pan first. Yeah. But Alice gets backed up too later. But like we could have, it was just me and her, like they were all 5-10 minutes. Yeah. Except Peter Pan. Oh, teacups were just walk on. All the cups weren't even full. Like we just walked right on. And then like at that point, it was like 8:30, 8:40. Big Thunder was like 5 minutes. Pirates was 10 minutes. Like you can just get so much done. So staying till park close is so fun. So I've said this so many times, but I really feel like if you can do it, rope drop, take a break in the middle of the day, maybe go back and take a nap or just rest at the hotel and then stay till park close. We can't do that because we got way too many kids, but that's our plan when we go alone. Yeah. Because there's something so fun about being there for rope drop, hearing the welcome announcement in the morning and like getting there in the morning, and you can get a lot done. You can start churning the Genie Pluses early because you're not getting a late start. And then also like being there at night is just like a whole different great energy. Yeah. Like, so That's my thought on that. Like, I think it's worth it to do rope drop, but it's also so fun to stay late. So if you can take a break in the middle of the day if it's a warmer month, the hottest point of the day, and just crowded, people are trying to figure out where they want to eat. They're just stopping in the middle of walkways, not knowing, like,
drives me insane.
If it's just me and you again, but we have, 4 kids with us trying to navigate, it was very busy. So even the day we left and we rope dropped and it felt pretty dead.
Yeah.
By around 11:30, we're like, oh, that's where the crowds are. Like, they're here now.
Yeah.
And it was getting busy. Mm-hmm. So we only stayed until about 1 o'clock, 1:30, but it had picked up around lunchtime a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So while you did Fantasyland stuff, I took the boys, we rope dropped Hyperspace Mountain, and there was a lot of people heading that way, more than I've seen in a long time. And so I'm like, I was just like, okay, we're going to get there. It's going to quickly shoot up to 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So we're going there, and it's just a steady crowd of people, just everybody just going straight there. No one's going off to Star Tours or Buzz or or the Rockets. Sound like I said something.
Yes, it did.
But it was just like everyone's making a straight line to the hyperspace. And so it says on there 5 minutes, and Boston's like, oh, it's only 5 minutes. And so he starts like running. It's like, buddy, it's probably going to go up real quick. And as we get, from the time we get to the first sign that's on the outside before you get into the hallway, it said 5 minutes. By the time we got to the actual line, it went up to 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh man, and we're going to be in line, and it's going to jump to 40. And so we go in and we just keep walking, and we keep walking. We keep walking, and we finally get to the point. We didn't stop until we got inside. And usually, it backs up before then. And we waited, it was posted 15 minutes. We waited maybe 20.
Yeah, because I met you at 8:30.
I forget how many people they can fit.
I know, it's crazy.
Inside that line.
Yeah, it's pretty. I wonder, what the amount of people, when it's 20 minutes, how many people are in line at that point, are getting in and on the ride in 20 minutes? You know what I mean? How many cars?
And you see how fast they load that ride. I mean,
yes.
It's like constant people in, out, in, out, in, out.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't stop at all.
Oh, yeah. So, I wonder how many people that is,
and so, another tip that I didn't realize about Genie Plus, I don't know why. I always thought you can't make your first selection, Disney Plus selection, until after the park opens at 8 or whatever the opening time is. But we got in like around 7:30. By the time I got our tickets loaded in the app, it was probably like 7:40, 7:45. Yeah. And I was able to make our first Genie Plus selection right then.
Yeah.
7:45.
We just had to be in the park, but it didn't have to be open. Yeah. Like the lands weren't open yet.
So I did Indiana Jones for 8:30.
Which is when I realized, what?
What should you do? I thought you said that we could. You said we could get Genie Plus.
I didn't mean it. I wasn't thinking.
It was too late. And so after we did Hyperspace Mountain, we go over to Indiana Jones. And that one, even with Genie Plus, it's always it's just a long line.
Yeah, that one and Guardians. If you have Lightning Lane, you're still probably waiting for at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20
which is better
minutes.
Than an hour. But so Jack and Noah and I went, and we're walking through, and we're going pretty fast. And we get to the part right before you make a little U-turn and go up the stairs, and we're stopped. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we just caught up to the line. But after I go so much, you know,
Yeah.
after about 3 minutes, we hadn't taken one step. I was like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And people around me aren't realizing it, but I'm like, no, there's a problem. And I was still just hoping that it was like, they were fixing it right then, you know, like, okay, it's down, but like, it's going to be like 5 minutes and it's up. 5 minutes goes by. 10 minutes go by. And I'm like, okay, we need to get out of here. Like it's down. I know it's down, but I had no reception.
Yeah. That ride. You're so deep in that building.
So I couldn't ask
there's no way to communicate on the outside world.
Yeah. So I couldn't look at my app and I couldn't text you and be like, hey, are they telling people it's down? You know, the guy in front of me could get through. His wife called him and told him like, they're telling people it's down, like outside before they were telling us. And so I was like, shoot, are they going to have us wait? Like, I want to get out of here. Like, I don't want to stand in here forever. And then after another few minutes, like, they were like, it's down. But then they told us, you know, have your phone out on your way out. We'll scan your tickets to give you a pass. So you can either go do another ride for you can get a Lightning for another ride. You just can't do it for Racers,
Rise.
Mickey and Minnie's and Rise. She didn't say Racers. No, she did. I think she did say Racers.
You can't do it for individual Lightning Lane.
Yeah. But we were like, well, no, we're just going to wait or you can wait for it to reopen and use it for that ride. So yeah, so then we were like, okay, well, I was like, well, but once I got reception, I was texting you. I was like, how about Big Thunder? It was only like 30 minutes. So, and it also had a Genie Plus selection for right then.
Yeah.
So we did that. Took turns doing that. And then I think it opened.
Yeah,
like it opened. It wasn't
within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was back open.
Oh, but we went to Toontown. It wasn't open yet. We went to Toontown.
Oh, okay.
Boston wanted to go back to Toontown. I wanted to see if we could meet Minnie. And so we went I
had a rule when we went to Toontown. It's like, we are not doing Goofy's play area.
Yeah.
Boston did not like that.
Boston did not like that. He loves playgrounds. And that one is, you know.
It's just too crazy. I couldn't handle it.
So he was not happy. But then I just decided that I would just take her to meet Minnie, and you guys went on the Gadget Coaster, which I thought he was going to think was lame because he hated the Barnstormer in Disney World. He was like, this is lame, but he liked it.
I think this one's definitely more intense than Barnstormer.
Was it? I didn't go on Barnstormer.
It's short, like 20 seconds also, but the drop is pretty good.
Is it? I don't. It's been a long time since I've been on that.
So yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's short. You like go up, you go down, you turn a couple of times, and then you're done. Yeah. It's also kind of a slow ride. It said 15 minutes. It was probably more like 25.
Yeah, you guys waited. You were done a little after us. We were waiting. It was 20 minutes to meet Minnie. And then when we were in line, it went up to 30. Because for a while we weren't moving. She was probably taking a break.
Yeah.
And then we got going. But when we were in line, Pete came out. We were right by like the gate where like the characters come out. Georgia freaked out. He's huge.
Yeah, he's
really big. Georgia did not like that. And then at one point, I was holding her. She was getting fussy. She was hungry and just like, and she was kind of throwing a fit. And while she did that, as she turned to my other shoulder, Goofy was right there. And he's big, he's tall.
Yeah.
And she freaked out. It scared her. She was shaking and like clinging to me. And then he went away. I'm like, it's okay. But he was like we could still see him. I'm like, look, there's Goofy. And she was like, no. So I was like, oh no, what is she going to do with Minnie? But she loved it. She loved Minnie. She was smiling and like she blew her kisses and it was really cute. And then after that, she just kept Mimi, Mimi, Mimi and blowing kisses when we weren't even in Toontown. Like we were just in other parts of the park and then she'd want Mimi. But it was super cute. And then I got the donuts.
You got the donuts.
One of the other things I wanted to try at Daisy's Cafe, they have like 5 little like cinnamon sugar donuts. It's a nice little treat. It's good.
Yeah.
I recommend them.
Yeah.
And then as we were walking out, Mickey and Minnie's was only 30 minutes.
It was closed when we walked by the first time, wasn't it?
No, it was closed earlier.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, because before it was closed, it was only like 25 minutes. I texted you were somewhere else. I was like, hey, Mickey and Minnie's only 25 minutes. Maybe we should go. Then it closed. Then it opened and it went up to like 45.
Yeah.
And then that was on our walk, or 55. When you got into Toontown, it was like 55.
Yeah.
And then we did the other things. As we were walking out, the sign said 30, and it's an individual lightning lane, so you have to pay extra, and we weren't going to do that. So we're like, oh yeah, I'd totally wait 30 minutes for that ride. So we went, and we only waited 20.
Yeah.
And it was fast. It's a fun line. There's lots of things to look at. It's a good queue and fun ride. Everyone can go on it. And yeah, by the time we got out and the ride was over, I think it was like 30 minutes. Oh, but yeah, then the line was 60 minutes.
The line was 60 minutes by the time we got out.
So it just was like perfect timing when we walked by, and we took advantage.
Because that's what happens when like when you're on the other side of the park, say like you see Rise or Mickey and Minnie's, and like, oh, it's only 25 minutes or 30 minutes. By the time you get there,
no way.
Everyone else already saw that too, and also is going over there, and it just it blows up the line, and it doubles to an hour or 75 minutes, and then you just wasted all that time trying to get over there, and running over there. So it only really works if you're already there in that area, if and you see close. It low, then get in line. Yeah,
like don't wait for later. If you're close, if you're in that land and you can get there, and then we did Small World again because Georgia wanted to.
And also we had Genie Plus, so we
had Genie Plus, so we did that, and then we ate. We ate a Hungry Bear.
Yeah.
Usually I try to get like a sandwich. They've had like I talked about the fried green tomato sandwich, which used to be permanent. Now I think they just bring it back every once in a while, which is really good. Don't have it right now, but I got just their cheeseburger, and I don't know if I was just really hungry, but it was really good.
It is good. Their burgers are good there.
I was like, this is so good.
I like the honey chicken sandwich is pretty good too. Has a nice little kick to it.
Wow.
I can't go wrong with Hungry Bear.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's when we did Indiana Jones. That was our last ride.
Yes. So it opened back up, but we always try our last day when we like do a half day and then drive home. We try to leave where Georgia it'll be her nap time when we get in the car.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like the car. And so if we can do part of our drive with her asleep, that's always our goal.
Yeah.
And it was like past her nap time, but they really wanted to do Indiana Jones. So I decided to forego the ride so that we didn't have to do it twice.
I'm sorry.
It's not the first, second, or third time I have done that.
You sacrifice it all the time. And I always say, let me do it.
Oh my gosh, that's such a lie.
It's not always a lie.
Oh my gosh.
I did offer. I was like, no, you wanted to go on it. So you were in line. I offered.
No, you offered for Space you didn't offer for me to go on Space Mountain that morning. You said we can get you a Genie Plus for it later because we didn't have to use Genie Plus.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Indiana Jones, you just said if you want to write, you didn't offer for me to go with the boys. You just.
I thought I did.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So, because I said I can go shopping because there were some bowls I wanted to buy. And so all the Joey Chow line collection, it's so cute. And I had been wanting to look at it. And so I was like, I'll do that. I'll try to keep her awake, which at first wasn't too hard. I had to carry her and push the stroller through stores with glass things. So I take it back. It was kind of hard. And she wanted down and trying to make her not break things. But then when I decided to get ice cream, she was super happy. I was like, maybe we'll get some ice cream. And she's like, yeah. And just like shaking her head. So we shared some ice cream on Main Street. And we've really separated a lot this trip. You had the boys and I just had Georgia a lot this trip.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Noah really wanted to do the museum, the 100
That's
years,
right.
because he really wanted to do it in February. And I walked through it one time when I was alone, but he hadn't done it. And I kept telling him you could do it. And then I was like, oh, now we have to take him. But I just wanted to get her to the car because it was like, she's going to fall asleep. Like, what did he think about it? I didn't even ask him.
He thought it was neat.
It's not very big. And I was like, it's a lot of art with a lot of plaques. So I didn't know how he would like, if he'd get much out
Jack
of
and
it.
Boston quickly lost interest.
Oh, yeah.
And Boston was touching everything. And like, they had like the wood frame displays.
Yeah.
They're like, easels.
Yeah.
He was going in and under those. I'm like, Boston, stop touching. Don't do that. Stop running. And I was like, okay, we got to get out of here before he knocks one of these things over and destroys this priceless art. It's going to fall on the bench that Walt Disney dreamt of Disneyland and break it. So we got to get out of here before something bad happens.
But yeah. That was it. I mean, it was fast, but they got to go on Hyperspace Mountain twice. Mm-hmm. They got to do Indiana Jones, Big Thunder. They didn't even go into Galaxy's Edge.
No.
But that's one thing about going all the time is it's like, we didn't do that this time. We're good. Like it's
didn't feel like we missed out on anything.
No.
So,
well, I mean, I didn't get Indiana Jones.
No, he didn't. We'll go.
But that's okay. But I'm going in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're going. That was another thing. It's like, we're going in a couple of weeks. So
this is definitely hands down my fastest turnaround. Going in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For the last day of Splash Mountain. We are not planning on just doing only Splash Mountain.
I know some people are, but it's like, no.
I can't. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. But I'm not going to be able to do it just over and over and over. I don't want to be wet all day, all day. I don't want to do that.
No, thank you.
But that's when I'm eating that flop over pizza from Daisy's Cafe.
Yeah.
Cafe Daisy. Oh my gosh. Which one is it? Am I saying it wrong this whole time? Let's see.
Well, I have one stipulation.
No.
We are not playing.
Cafe Daisy. Have I been saying Daisy's Cafe?
I think so.
It's Cafe Daisy. I'm such a...
We are not playing Goofy's Playhouse.
What? Come on.
I'm putting my foot down.
I really want to go on those slides.
Excuse me, ma'am. Please stop going on the slides. Please let the children.
You are not 12. I'm going to push them down, man. Like, get out of my way. I'm not like my kids. I will push you. Yeah, but we're gonna break it up. We're rope dropping and closing, so we are taking a nap in the middle of the day.
Going back to the hotel. We're staying at the Anaheim Hotel this time.
Hopefully we don't oversleep and then miss the close. Wake up the next day.
Yeah,
Oops.
we're going to have to set an alarm. Who knows? We might wake up at 6 in the morning the next day.
Shoot, we missed it.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
That actually doesn't sound that bad, though. But,
The whole point is to go for Splash Mountain, which we didn't ride. I thought the boys were going to want to ride it so that they could be like, oh, it's our last time on Splash Mountain, but they didn't even ask about it.
No,
so
I think they're fine.
But yeah, so it was fun. I mean, it was fast. It was, I went to open my pictures, but this just popped up. Fight breaks out at Walt Disney World over photo op near 100th anniversary sign.
Sounds about right.
One person received medical treatment following the incident, which happened at the Magic Kingdom on Monday afternoon.
Sounds super magical.
Anyways. So yeah, fun. Few new tips.
Yeah.
Not really, but just observations, I guess.
Good trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hope you enjoyed that recap. We have lots more to come with our Splash Mountain. Also, the fundraiser for the Chalk Foundation is still going on for Podcast Mics for Magic. You can follow them on Instagram for more details on how you can donate to that. So make sure to check that out. They're doing great things for the Children's Hospital of Orange County in honor of Splash Mountain's last day.
Yes.
So Make sure to check that out. We appreciate everyone tuning in, listening. We are the Dreaming of Disney podcast. You can find us on Instagram at dreaming.of.disney.podcast. And thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.